thank you very much for joining us today. Welcome. You're Head of Credit Risk for Npower, responsible for both the domestic side of the business as well as the SME side of the business. Is that correct?
That's right, yep.
So when we look at the story of Npower, what that shows us is a story of a journey that you've been on with Experian that's taken you through a whole transformation process, which has ultimately led to reducing your bad debt, but also increasing customer experience and customer satisfaction. When you came on board, what was the business problem? What was the definition of the business problem that you were trying to address?
It's about managing costs and efficiency. We have finite amounts of resources, making sure that we service our customers in the most effective and efficient way. And that's not just from a commercial perspective, but it's also from a customer perspective as well. By being effective in how we manage our customers and making sure we position the right treatments, the right products and services to the right set of customers, I'd say it frees up resource so that then where there is potentially the need for more manual intervention, then we've got the capacity to do that as well. And so one of the what we recognised was it's not just about collecting debt at the back end, it's also right from the onset, from when we onboard customers, it's making sure we take them on, we assess that customer and their financial circumstances and their requirements of their energy supplier and make sure we get the best fit. And then we manage them consistently through that journey because obviously people's circumstances change, and again, through leveraging the tool set, the product tool set that Experian offered, the rich vein of data that we get from the credit bureau, we were able to do that in a dynamic way. So again, we're continually reacting to our customers' changing needs.
And that whole proactive approach, responsible lending, making sure that from day one you're offering the right product to the right customers, and that continual monitoring throughout the whole process, was that a completely new way of looking at it for Npower?
I think it was the aspiration. I think across an organisation you're always looking to do that. I think that fundamentally we didn't have the capability, we didn't have the systems, possibly we didn't have the right people either to be able to achieve that. And I think that was where when we recognised the need for a more comprehensive credit management within the organisation, we also then recognised that we also needed to partner with a service provider that could give us the right tools as well to fulfil that ambition. You had your vision,
your aspiration, you knew where you were trying to get to. What were the options that you looked at the beginning?
So we had existing debt management capability. We also had an IT supplier as well that gave us a number of kind of standalone but somewhat rigid solutions, but they didn't tackle the whole issue. It was just like component parts. What we recognised though is that you need to have a consistent credit policy and strategy applied across the whole end-to-end life cycle. It has to be consistent. Experian could offer that end-to-end life cycle approach with the right products at the right point in time, and they all work together seamlessly. The other thing was as well is that the tool set that Experian provides is much more configured to the end user. It's much more dynamic. It allows much more control from an end user perspective, taking away a significant dependency on IT. And so with that, obviously, as I say, you get the capability for dynamic change, which is absolutely fundamental in any kind of industry with regard to credit management.
So what does the solution look like?
Well, 3 years on, we've embedded an end-to-end credit management infrastructure that covers both, covers acquisition, in-life and collections. The data flows from one instance to the next, and alongside that we obviously have the opportunity to leverage data from the credit bureau as we're now full sharing members, which gives us an absolutely invaluable insight that we can add to our internal knowledge of our customers to ensure that at each point of that journey we're making the most appropriate decision for our customers. And it is fundamentally about a responsible approach to lending.
And what does it mean in terms of speed to market?
Depending on complexity, it can go out, but literally, I mean, if we've got a well-defined change, we could deliver something within 48 hours that could either affect 5 people in the customer base or the whole of the customer base. Historically, that could have taken anything up to 6 months and beyond as you go through the whole project cycle, trying to acquire CapEx, IT, resource, release timescales within your IT delivery plan, because obviously it's already particularly congested. And now, as I say, we can work within our own gift and deploy stuff into the live environment in a very time-effective way.
So if you bring all that together, what are you seeing as the impact of that on the business, on the bottom line?
So through automation, we're seeing a lot more efficient deployment of resource, but fundamentally in terms of our bottom line, I think our original expectation was a circa sort of like 5% reduction in our bad debt charge, and that was at the end of a kind of a 5-year chain. We're 3 years in now, and in terms of sustainable benefit, we've already seen an 8% improvement. If we then include kind of additional one-off improvements, so where we've been able to leverage better insight and profiling, so we've been able to more accurately identify our provisioning requirements, that figure goes up to about a 20% reduction over the last 3 years. So as I said, it's had a significant impact and will continue to do so. And as I said, the 8% underlying is sustainable. We're already looking at other opportunities. Now we've got the end-to-end in place, we're optimising the existing strategies, and as I say, looking out for other uses of the information that we now have to apply to our customer base.
So Stephen, thank you very much for your time today. It's been a real pleasure to come and for you to share your story.
Thank you.